Welcome to another episode of Wood Couture podcast. In today's program, we are having my friend Dimitris Manikis, President for Wyndham Hotels and Resort, Europe, Middle East, Africa, and as you will say, don't forget Eurasia, which is one of the most important regions for them. For certain, today you realize one thing about Dimitri. He never wears the same glasses, he never tells you the same story, and above all, is always positive and cheerful. Dear Dimitri, welcome to the show.
Hey, good morning, Filippo. Good morning from not as positive London. It's raining here in London, but I hope it is what it is. Good morning, and I know that you are in Dubai, where the sun is shining. So good to be with you.
Excellent.
Thank you for the invitation.
I'm very excited because you're always a positive person, and you always have the good story, as I mentioned in the introduction. But let's talk. Let's dive into Dimitri's life and 30 years of experience, 27 with RCI, and since 2018 is Wyndham Hotels and Resorts. And where it all started. Let's go back. Where it all started. When did you realize hospitality is for you?
Oh wow, this is. I hope I can remember. So, my family ran the series of supermarkets and delicatessens back in Athens, and when I was a kid, I used to go and help my father during the summer, and I was amazed. I was amazed of his culture, and then he was always had a smile on his face. He would always serve the customers, and every night, that he was giving us a lesson, me and my younger brother, he said, no matter what you do, there's two things you need to remember. You've got to love people, and you've got to love what you do. And then I realized, what is the industry that actually is about loving people? And I thought, what? Is definitely hospitality. So after I finished my first studies in the university, I joined the Intercontinental in Athens as a management trainee. It was back in the 80s, and I fell in love with hospitality. And I said to myself, "This is it. That's the job that I'm going to do going forward. I'm not going to win a Nobel Prize, obviously, but I'm going to try. I'm going to try and make people happy by working in the happiest industry of all." So I went. I did my training program for a year and a half. I loved it, and then I said to myself, you know what? I just need some experience abroad. So I answered this advert. It was this timeshare company called RCI that was looking for people. They hired me. Don't know really why, but they did back in the 90s, and I joined them, and I had a ball. I mean, Filippo, it was a great business. It was a business that was run by an entrepreneur at that time, a private owner, who really was my mentor. Christel DeHann. Unfortunately she passed away about a year ago, but she was a remarkable woman. She taught me everything that I knew. She allowed me to do things my way. She allowed me to travel, go to incredible places. I've traveled in so many different destinations around the world, and I think it was 1986, she sold the business, or 1996 actually, she sold the business to Sendent, a huge conglomerate at that time, and then we became corporate owned, and obviously Wall Street owned, and then the journey changed completely. We're still expanded, we still grew our business, but in a different environment, and we grew. Then I spent 5 years in South Africa as the managing director for RCI and Wyndham Destinations in Africa, which again, wow, was a completely different perspective altogether. And as you said, 3 years ago, I was given the opportunity to run Wyndham Hotels and Resorts for the EMEA region as the local president, and what an amazing journey that was. I mean, a completely different ball game, and still a great journey to be at. So I am blessed, Filippo. I'm blessed for the people that they gave me the opportunity. I'm blessed that my father and my mother that gave me the right ingredients and the right guidance to start this journey. So that's more or less how it happened.
It's quite interesting because you are very consistent. Yeah, in every interview you mention your father, absolutely, to be your life mentor. And I like one quote, and that you said, I learned the value of high customer service, which is very relevant in the industry we are in. Positive look and hard work have been the foundation of the success.
Yes.
Tell me a bit more. What was it like seeing your father at work?
Yes.
What does it mean? Give us an example of high customer service.
So I'll tell you, you're right. I do talk about my father quite a lot. He's 93 years old. We lost my mother 4 months ago, and that he's been with for 60 years, and that was a big blow, as you can imagine, devastating for our family. But I'll tell you a few things about my father. He grew up when Greece was occupied during the Second World War. He never went to school. He only finished first grade. He was the oldest of six. He was an orphan since he was 10 years old, and he fought his way through. He learned how to read and write, when he was 18. It was the first time that he learned how to read and write. And one of the stories that he kept on telling me as I was growing up is that, it's one of these anecdote stories. In your age, no matter what my age was, even now that I'm 53, he said, I didn't have shoes to wear. That's why I have so many shoes. I have the obsessions of buying shoes, because he always kept telling me, I thought success is about owning shoes, because my father kept on telling me, you know what, in your age, I didn't have shoes to wear. So he grew up, he did an amazing career, and he sold his business, and he retired successfully. But I saw him at work, and for him, it didn't matter who it was, it was a customer or not, it was a provider, a supplier. For him, it was always about building those relationships. It was about building that customer ethics and values. And so seeing him in action, I realized, you know what? No matter what you do in life, no matter what industry you're in, no matter what you study and what you don't study, if you are good with people and you have those values embedded in you, you're doomed to be successful. There's no other chance than success. And one of the things that I keep on telling my girls as well, I've got two teenage daughters, is no matter what you do in life, if you have those values embedded in you, success will come on its own. And remember the other thing that, again, he told me, I learned from him, and I saw it in action, is exactly what you said: hard work. Hard work. No matter what you do, if you don't work hard, is not gonna happen. And that's exactly what I did, and that's exactly what he did, and learned from him. So that's kind of where it got me today. So.
Well, and I think his mantra live today, because you're always positive, always positive. You always have a story to tell. You always have good stories. No matter what, you never repeat the same story. You must write a book on that. And last but not least, is very true, you're friendly with everybody. I think, are you friendly with your enemy?
Yeah, because I first of all, I don't believe in the enemies. I don't think, Filippo, I don't think people wake up in the morning and say, I'm going to destroy somebody's day today. I think people are behaving the way they do because of circumstances. I think it's circumstances that drive people's behavior. And if you build the circumstances around you, and you try to be as positive as you can, and you try to have a positive attitude towards people, that actually changes people's behavior, and they have to adapt to the circumstances. I've never been in a circumstance where I wanted to ruin somebody's day or be aggressive or an enemy to somebody. I mean, that's not what we're here for. Life is too short, and we are privileged to be given the opportunity to enjoy it, and either making enemies or making people uncomfortable or making people's days miserable, it's not what we're supposed to be doing. So, put a smile on your face and be positive about it, and then just move on. That has always been my mantra. That has always been my case.
You mentioned the founder of RCI, which is your very first global employer, let's call it. And
Yes.
The question I have for you: how was working for her, and what was the most valuable lessons you took out that you keep with you in life and work from this experience?
Wow. Wow. She taught me so many things. She sold the business, and I have to tell you another story about Christel because she touched so many people's lives. She sold the business. I began back in the 90s for $1 billion. She spent most of her money in philanthropy. She devoted her life in building Crystal House schools, schools for deprived children in India, in South Africa, in Latin America, even in the US. And I have the pleasure of being on the board of Crystal House schools for Europe. And she always saw the good in people. She was a shrewd businesswoman. She knew what she wanted. She survived a lot of unforeseen circumstances, but she had this love about people, and she loved her team. And again, I know that we talk about love a lot, but it's such an important ingredient in everything that we do, right? And the lesson that I've learned for her is learn how to deal with the cards you've been served. And one of the things that I keep on, saying to my team as well, control the controllables. The things that you cannot control, don't worry about it. Just focus on the things you can control, and focus on the things that you can make a difference. She was a great woman, a great entrepreneur, a great business person, but at the same time, she knew that she had to give back to society, and that's exactly what she did. And for me, that's the essence of successful people. It's not just about making money for themselves. It's what you do for humanity as well. And this is a great lesson. I will never forget that.
Wow, it's you had two mentors in your life, which is incredible. Yeah, your father obviously is family, but also
Yes.
how would you relate in some respect? Because I don't know how old she was when she died, Christel, but I think she wasn't quite very mature
Yes.
person.
Yes.
How would you relate what you've learned from Christel to what you learned from your father? I don't know whether they were the same age class, but
No. My
different.
father is not.
In
Yes,
terms of
my
way
father
of
is 93.
working, the way they
Yeah. Look, again, same thing. They share so many characteristics. First of all, they're both entrepreneurs. They grew up in very adverse environments. Crystal migrated to the United States of America and fought her way through. So very unforeseen circumstances. Third, they both saw the good, the bad, and the ugly on people. When you grow in these circumstances, you see the good, the bad, and the ugly on people. And fourth, and most important, they both shared exactly the same values in terms of how you care about your customers, what do you do about your people, and most importantly, that business is just a job, is not a religion. You take it on the chin and you move on. And that's exactly what I've learned as well from my dad. I saw him in unforeseen circumstances, how he reacted. And I saw Crystal doing exactly the same, how she reacted in circumstances that personally I would have said, you know what, I'm going to give up. But I saw her diligence, and I saw her commitment and passion. And I said, oh my God, there's so much to learn from this woman, exactly as I did from my dad. So they share a lot of characteristics, but obviously, my dad didn't sell his business for $1 billion, because I wouldn't be here now talking to you. I would probably go fishing on a Greek island. So I still have to work very hard. But you know what? It's still there's a parallel story there. It's same values.
it's incredible. I think is incredible the amount of value that you gain in having two mentors like that is incredible. No matter who you work for, but it's the people really that
Yes.
shape you. Let's put in that way. I want to ask you something, because I think what is remarkable about you, Dimitri, is that, and I find it amazing myself, and I have to say I've not been able to do it. You've been with RCI for 27 years. And that is commitment. I'm happy to take any argument about that. And so my question is, but how is it like to eat the same soup every day for 27 years? Because it's nowadays people don't stay in organization for 12 months. And you stayed for 27 years. What's the secret? What kept you going?
True.
What kept you going?
Thank God it's not my wife asking me how you kept being married to me for 25 years. So I'll tell you, it's probably the same. It's probably the same recipe. It's probably the same recipe. It's first of all, they've given me opportunities that I wouldn't even dreamt of. They send me to places that open up my horizons. I've traveled to India. I lived in Middle East. I lived in India. I lived in Turkey. I lived in Spain. I lived in South Africa. I traveled in places, in incredible places. And one thing about working for an entrepreneur like Christel, she made every day look different. How did she do that? With her entrepreneurial spirit. We would sit in a boardroom, she would come up with an idea, and she would say, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to go after this. So a day was never the same. The other thing that she managed to do is build the culture. She built a culture around her of people that they were like kamikazes. We wouldn't care less. We would go after business. We would grow the business. We didn't mind if it was weekends or holidays. We would travel and just pursue the business. So it was the culture, the values, it was the incredible journeys and the incredible people that I've met, plus the team. The team she built around her was all of the same culture. One of the things that I like to say is like sometimes you don't hire for skills, but you hire for attitude. If you have the right attitude, if everybody is in the team and has the right attitude, you've got the recipe of success. Okay, if you're a pilot, you hire for skills because you need to fly the plane. But in our industry, attitude, Filippo, is so important. And that's what she did. She built a team of people with the right attitude, and she just allowed us to do what was best and to do what was the right for the business. So that kept me going, and that renewed the vows and the energy every year. Every year, almost every week was a different week. So there was no reason to be bored because I was enjoying it. I was, meeting incredible people, doing incredible journeys, and being to incredible destinations. So I was blessed. I felt extremely lucky. And the last comment and the last point is that I wanted to give back to her as well. I wanted to do as much as I could for the opportunity that she gave me in my early years to build that career. So I wanted to give back to her. I wanted to make sure that I'm part of her success as well, and that kept me going. That's it, really.
How difficult was that day that you say, you know what, guys, I'm gonna hand my resignation or I quit? How did you feel? 27 years. I get less if I murder somebody. But how did you feel?
Hopefully you won't have to do that.
No, I won't. But for me, I see as a very long time. But I see remarkable. I admire your commitment and dedication. But also, I would love to know how it feels to hand over that letter, that message of 27 years commitment to, say goodbye to a family after 27 years.
True. It was tough. Christel was gone. She had sold the business, so she was out of the business. We were all part of Wyndham Worldwide. Wyndham Worldwide was at that time, before we spun off the business, one of the biggest conglomerates in hospitality. And I realized at some point, I was in South Africa for 5 years. I was commuting backwards and forwards, spending time with the family. And I said to myself, you know what? It's a time for a change. And that job became available in London. And I said to myself, you know what? Before I hand over my career and I move on, I think there is only one thing that I need to learn, and I need to understand more about what the hotel industry is all about, and what the other part of Wyndham is actually doing. I didn't expect them to hire me because I'm not a hotelier, but they did. They did. At some point I'm going to ask them why they did, but they did. And this is another, again, I'm so blessed, and I look at with humbleness in terms of my life. why would somebody give me the second chance, an opportunity to learn so much in an industry which, RCI and we were, Wyndham destinations that we used to work for was part of hospitality, but to understand and learn so many things about hotels, and for me to be blessed to be given that opportunity is just amazing. So I would like to thank the CEO, Jeff Balotti, who gave me that opportunity and hired me. And I had a ball, I learned so many things. I remember the first day I went into Hammersmith, our office, and I met my direct reports, and probably they're looking at me like, what is this guy doing here? Obviously they knew me from, because we were one company as Wyndham, and they had the first meeting, and they were talking using all these 3-letter words like ADR and all of that, and I'm like, oh my God, what have I done? What have I done? I don't. I need to understand what these guys are talking about. I don't know all that. So, but and that was an exciting part. Learning, and I still learn. I still learn every day, and I'm so blessed. Again, I have the right people, the right team, the right attitude of people around me. So that is what kept me going. But it was tough. It was a very tough decision. But I had to do it. I had to go out there in the wide world, the brave world of hospitality. I had to do it, Filippo. I had to. So, and I did.
Incredible. I think you play very humble, but you are a master of your own faith, because I will come on to that, because I want to discover more about your glasses, because I'm not going to let it go. I have a killer question for that, before or later. And hey, anything would happen to you, I am sure that the people of Luxottica have to come and see you. There is no one person that knows more about frame, color, style, fashion than you. So, you know how to build a brand by wearing different glasses. So I come to that. But I want to ask you something. Somebody asked you once, what would you change about the industry? And you said, I would like to change the perception of a career in hospitality. Tell me more about that. I know where you're going, but tell me more, please.
Yeah. I think as I was growing up, I always thought as well the same. I'm not going to serve coffee. Is hospitality about serving coffee? And it's not. I believe that hospitality is one of the most exciting industries in the world. And as I used to say to my team, you might not win the Nobel Prize working with me, but a Nobel Prize winner still needs a holiday. And that's exactly what we're going to give people. What I meant by that is that young kids today, probably they don't see hospitality as an industry to have a career, and I would like to prove the contrary. I have some amazing talent around me, and young kids who decided, what, this is the industry for me, and they've been extremely successful. They're building a great career. They're doing great stuff and it's not just about serving coffee. It's not about working as a waiter or a waitress in a coffee bar. And I just remember the song now. It's about what you do, and it's about loving people. So I want to do everything that I can to actually make sure that everybody remembers that no matter what you do in life, hospitality is an industry that is here to stay, has an amazing future, and it's not just about serving coffee. It's so many other things that you learn working in our industry. And I do believe that, with pandemic and everything, I think people realize that this industry is here to stay. If we can survive this, we can survive anything in life. So I'm very bullish. I'm very bullish about the future, and I want to make sure that everybody who is in hospitality keeps on telling those young kids out there who are looking for a bright career, join us, come on board. This is a fun industry to be. It's about people, and you're going to have a blast. So why not?
Do you think
come on board.
The educational sector of hospitality, we have fantastic schools all over the world, but do you think the education sector have done any justice to this? Have they progressed with relevant content on the study modules, or are we still behind many other industries like finance, or the likes of Harvard that promote talent, has the hospitality education sector done enough to promote the beauty of our industry?
I think they do. I think they do. I in the last 3 years, I had the privilege of spending time at The Hague. I had the privilege of spending time at the École Hôtelière de Lausanne. I have, we are doing business with Sarah University, with Bournemouth University. We have interns programs. They're doing a phenomenal job. They're doing a phenomenal job. They do a lot of work. They get some great talent. But it never ends, and we need to make sure that we all keep on doing that and being persistent. One of the things that I learned from Lausanne, and I don't know if it's still the case, that 45% of the graduates actually don't stay with hospitality. They move on to financial services or banking or private equity. Why? Because the graduates from hospitality schools, they learn about skills. They learn about people. They learn how to treat people in unforeseen and difficult circumstances. They learn about a wider variety of subjects, and they are very sought after, employees, right? So we need to make sure, and it's not just the schools, Filippo, it's us as well. We need to make sure that we keep on reminding every single day, wherever we can, media, interviews, webinars, conferences. We need to make sure to remind people that hospitality is here to stay and is an amazing industry to be part of. So it's not just the schools; it's all of us. All of us, we need to work together to make sure that this happens.
I wanted to ask you. There are many industries that are, from employment to gender equality. Let's stay within employment. How do you feel hospitality have done in terms of raising the bar on gender equality, more women in senior positions and so forth? I mean, you talk about Christel. She was a businesswoman, she was a leader, she was everything. So a great example. How did we do compared to other industry?
I think we're getting there. I think we're getting there. It's the challenge with hospitality needs a lot of commitment and sacrifices. So I think that we're gradually getting there. It's a long, this thing is not a sprint; it's a marathon, right? And we always have to remember that it's a marathon. Rome wasn't built in one day. So we need to do more work. We need to and as you can see, LGBTQ rights and gender equality and gender pay and promoting more women into senior positions. I think it's happening. It's not going to change overnight. So we always have to remember that this is a process. It's a marathon, not a sprint. But we are extremely, extremely hopeful about the future. I see it happening. I see some great female leaders. In our industry, I see some great GMs leading hotels. I'm very excited, but we shouldn't make this just a showcase. It's not about showcasing, oh, look how great we are. It's about embedded it in our culture. It has to be part of our DNA. And this is what I'm really proud. And you talk about Wyndham and how difficult it was, that decision. I'm really proud to work for Wyndham Hotels and Resorts, because that's part of our values. That's part of who we are and our DNA of the company. So it will take time. It is a marathon, but some really, really great progress is happening. Really great progress.
What about sustainability? Obviously, again, there are industries that are really pushing for it, but within the hospitality, is it real? Or is it a fad? Give me your straight answer. What do you think?
Wow, it is. It is very real. It is very real. It is very real. The investors are making it real. The owners are making it real. The brands are making it real. The society is making it real. And what an owner told me once, and we were talking, and this is a true story. We're talking about major investment that he had to do to make it a more sustainable hotel. And I said, oh my God, this is a tough decision you had to make. And I said, you know what? It must have been difficult in challenging times. He said, no, it wasn't. And I said, oh, tell me more. He said, it was my daughter. And I'm like, what do you mean? It was my daughter that drive the investment, because the young generation believes in the sustainable nature of our business and believes that our planet and the people deserve a better chance. And so even if we are not the catalyst of change. The young generation is. The young leaders of our industry, our own kids. I've learned how to recycle properly from my teenage daughter because I thought I was recycling, but probably, I was doing it wrong. So it's the new generation that is going to make a difference. And that makes me very hopeful. It's the investor community that has, green investment as the top priority. So it's not a fad. Absolutely not. Hospitality will become one of the most sustainable industries out there. It's just not hotels. It's just not hotels, Filippo. We need to remember hospitality is not just about hotels. It's about the airlines. It's about the restaurants. It's about the bars. It's about the taxi drivers. So it needs everybody to come together. But I can tell you, it's definitely happening. It will be the conversation that will happen more and more as we go along.
I think it's something that you probably quite enjoy because it's a form of giving back to the environment.
Yes, absolutely.
You mentioned before you wanted to give back the opportunity that Christel gave to you. So
Correct.
And it's beautiful.
Correct.
And in the subject of giving back, I saw some of your interviews during the COVID time and the pandemic, and you at Wyndham you ran a fantastic program that I can't remember what it's called, but the encompasses collaborating closely with your owners, franchisees,
yes.
And it's incredible. It sounds quite a coincidence that you are on board in a time where it's so important to give back and feel close. And I like one of your expressions that you said, in another interview, you say, pick up the phone and tell your owner, hey,
yes.
thank you. But
correct.
How was the response from owners about this? How was it? Give me some stories about.
Look, I always said that thank you is a word that we use almost every day, but the content under which you use it actually makes better sense. We just call people to say thank you. I just call a lot of people to say, I don't want to talk to you about business. How are you doing? How's your family? How are you feeling? What's your story?
Mm-hmm.
And people were surprised at the beginning because it was the human side of our business. Sometimes we keep to forget. It's all about business, or it's all about, and I get it. We're all Wall Street listed, and we've got our quarter to fight for. But it went a long way. Picking up the phone and talking to people, it went a long way. And people were surprised at the beginning, and they said, "Oh, are you asking me? Is he calling me to ask for money, or didn't I pay my franchise fees?" And it wasn't about that. It was what can we do to help you, and just how are you doing? And we ended up the conversation as a simple thank you. There are times that people are fed up of listening to thank yous, but there are times that the word so simple that we use every day is so important to people's lives. And that's exactly what we've done. And we built another program saying, calling people and say, count on us to help you. We count on each other at Wyndham. We have our cultural programs called Count on Me. And we went out and we said, count on us. Count on us to be here. Count on us to support, and count on us to be with you in this horrible journey. People, this is the journey that people need company. It's not a journey you wanna travel on your own. And that was a journey that we were all together, and that made a huge difference. And the other thing that I kept on saying to people is never forget the lessons we learned in 2020. Never, because we learned so much from a business perspective and a personal perspective. Never let go. Never forget the lessons we learned.
Yeah. How this pandemic do you think have impacted the culture in hospitality?
Oh, it created a far more camaraderie. It brought us all together around the table. We all fought a common enemy. We were not competitors anymore. We were comrades fighting a common enemy. At the same time, again, it made simple things mean a lot, as a thank you or a phone call, as I said earlier. And at the same time, it made us realize how resilient we all are. I remember I said to my team on the 14th of March, we closed the office, and I said, okay, I'll see you in 2 weeks. And it's been 16 months that I haven't seen them because we're all working from home. We run a business working from home. Hotels. And look at Filippo, the unsung, and I know that here in the UK they talk about the NHS and the heroes of NHS, rightly so. But look at the heroes of hospitality, the people who worked with the community, provided meals to the community, provided shelter to homeless, gave back to the community, vaccinated hotels or quarantine hotels. Look at the unsung heroes of the hospitality industry. I think it made us wiser. It made us, brighter, and at the same time, it made us more humble. That we realize that anything can happen in one day, and things we can lose everything. So all of these lessons, I think they were okay. I could live without the pandemic. Let's be fair.
Of course.
But at the same, of course, like so many people, they lost their loved ones. It was devastating. But never let go of the lessons and the experiences that we went through and the lessons we learned. Never let go of that.
Yeah. You manage, and always talking about people, and obviously a fantastic program, for your franchisees and owners and the community, I say. But I'm reading another of your quote that you did recently to Hotel Middle East, and I love this one. But I want to ask a specific question. People you work with will want to see your inner soul. How do you get to show your inner soul, considering you manage a huge estate and a huge amount of people? How do you do it? How you try to get people to know who is the real Dimitri?
I think people can tell fake behavior. I think people can see right through us these days. We are all transparent. We are more transparent than we ever been. Second, you can fake once, you can fake twice, you can fool once, you can fool twice, but you cannot fool all the time. And third, and most important, if it's part of you, who you are as a person, you just do it. As I said, one of the most important things is that I've learned how to love people, and I think this industry is about loving people. I've learned how to smile even in unforeseen circumstances, and at the same time, when the team saw the culture that we are building, they just embraced it, Filippo. They just embraced it, and that inner soul is not just me. It's all of us. It's the company itself. It's the DNA of who we are as Wyndham, and that's what we try. Are we always successful? Not always. We've got our failures, and we're human beings. I know it sounds too good to be true sometimes, but we are all human beings. We all have our weaknesses, and we have our bad days and our good days. But at the end of the day, it's all about the marks that you leave in your job, with your team, and what you want to be remembered with. So it's better to be remembered as a nice person that contributes something instead of being completely opposite. So if you have that every day you wake up, I think life can become a bit easier, to be fair.
What's your most memorable mistake or failure that says, gosh, I made a mistake, but I've learned a lot?
This has become very personal. My biggest mistake was that I didn't spend as much time with my family as I wanted. I was selfish. I traveled. I enjoyed, as I said, incredible journeys, incredible destinations, and incredible people. But a lot of that I've done it without my family, who had to stay behind, and my wife raised two amazing kids. I didn't spend, as I was building my career, as much time as I wanted with my parents. And when I lost my mother 4 months ago, this is when I realized that possibly if I had the opportunity to fly back in time or change time, this is what I would have done. I would have spent more time with my parents, and I would have spent more time with my family. I've done a lot of business mistakes as well, but that's the one that it has a mark on me. It's that personal time with family, and I always use that alibi that I do it for them because I need to build my career and I do provide for my family. But I realized that I was selfish as well, Filippo. I did it for myself as well because I wanted to be successful and I wanted to meet all these incredible people and go to these incredible journeys. So that's, if I could change something, that's what I would change.
What would you say to the 35 years old young Dimitri now?
What I would say just remember that it's just a job, it's not a religion. So just take it as it comes. And I would say exactly the same things I would say to the 57-year-old Dimitri that I keep on saying myself every day. Love what you do, love people, and control the controllables, because that's what life is all about. And one thing that I've learned recently is learn how to play with the cards that you've been served. Don't sit there and moan and be miserable about, life is unfair. Just learn how to deal with the cards you've been served.
Wow.
So
it's I think you've been very honest. In all fairness, not many people admit, but that's probably why you are in the position that you are, because you show your greatness as a human being and you show your greatness as a professional. It's incredible. It's
Filippo.
Quick question. Any of your two daughters follow in your footsteps in hospitality? Or
no.
attempted?
No. And I'll tell you another private story. And you said about being honest in this. Obviously you're a friend of mine, and I'm very comfortable with you. So I'll tell you a story about my eldest daughter. She's doing her master's degree here in London, and she's doing human rights. And I was on a Zoom call the other day with a friend of mine, personal call. And Anastasia was here in the apartment and said, let's say hello to my friend. And my friend asked Anastasia, how did you choose human rights? And she said, because I want to make sure that I save humanity from people like my dad. So when your 23-year-old kid actually says that, it's an interesting comment. It's very interesting comment. We had a long debate after that. I said, what exactly did you mean? He said, don't take it too personal. So they want us, both of them, one of them is doing human rights. The other one is doing food processing. So they are in a completely different industries. But look, they enjoyed the beauty of hospitality. They travel with me. They've been to some of the incredible places we have. So they fell in love with hospitality. It's just they want to do something else with their lives. And one thing that I have also learned is don't push your kids to do what you want them to do. Just let them be themselves. So, and that is very important as well.
It's incredible hearing your story, because it's very consistent. I must admit, you are one of the most consistent person I've met. In every interview you do, I went back 7 or 8 years, from your RCI time to Wyndham. Your values stays the same. You never change. And you always refer back to things that have really had an impact on you. And I want to ask you one question. What is the name of your favorite restaurant in the island of Paros? Because you say that's an experience. I want to know that restaurant.
Okay. There are a couple. I love Paros. I own a timeshare there in Paros, and I go every year. There's a couple. Acti Barbarossa is a beautiful restaurant by the beach. There Acti, it's another little restaurant which is beautiful. And there are a couple. A couple have closed, unfortunately, because of the pandemic. There were the impact of the pandemic. There were mama papa operations that they couldn't stay open. But there are some beautiful little restaurants, and the Greek islands. They're I mean, I'm biased, right? I'm Greek. I mean, they're beautiful places to holiday. But please come over to Paros. As I said, it's a beautiful little island, and you're gonna enjoy every minute of it.
Yeah, and you know, you describe this place not about the food, because I'm sure there's no doubts about the food. You know, when you go to Greece, you know, it's reassurance. You know, I mean, it's but you say, when I see the people around in this restaurant, and you know, they come from all over the world having a good time, it reminds me one more time they did the right career choice. It's incredible, you know. I mean,
Yes.
you're very consistent
Yes.
in everything. You know, I mean, you say do where
Yes.
this life or where this business. You're very consistent. But let's move over. I want to ask you something about the industry and go. One question about it is that now there's a big subject, lifestyle. You see a lot of the people in the industry going lifestyle, they're going merging, forming brands and that. You guys have got 20 brands, the largest hotel company in the world. I mean, when I read your numbers, guys, it's just scary. But the even scariest one is that the EMEA and Eurasia chapter, only 2006 born. It was set up in 2006, and you're huge. You're massive. And you're massive in this area, huge. So you've got 20 brands. You guys are very strong in the mid-scale sector, and then upper scale, obviously, with the Wyndham brand. But everybody's going lifestyle. What's your thought about this lifestyle trend, and how you guys are preparing to address it? You know.
So good news. We have 21 brands. We have Registry Collection Hotels that was launched 2 weeks ago. And this is exactly what it is. It is a soft brand for luxury independent hoteliers, and it's all about luxury. And one thing that you need to I need to say about Wyndham, and this is not a sales pitch, but we don't like to put segments or stamps on travelers. I think this is over now. The same family that they can stay in a cottage or they can stay in a budget hotel, a month later or 6 months later, they can stay in a luxury accommodation or in a caravan park, or they can. So people now, they are adventurous. They seek adventure. They seek experiences. And experiences can range from a budget hotel to an ultra luxury, from a caravan park to a cottage, from a holiday park to whatever. I think the days that we used to say, oh, this is the profile of my customer, I think they're long gone. I think people now just behave in different ways, bearing in mind their own personal circumstances and their needs. The same person that can travel, business class on a business trip, they can take a Ryanair flight and go to a destination with their family and enjoy a beautiful vacation. So for me, it's our brands. They do what they say on the title. We deliver consistency, we deliver value, and at the same time, we address every type of traveler. I think when you travel with Wyndham, you can be any traveler you want, because we have brands. We have 21 brands that meet your needs. So it's not about, is it lifestyle trendy, or is it luxury, or is it business hotels going out of trend? I think hospitality is here to stay, no matter if you are on the upper scale or on the budget segment, because there are so many people traveling today, Filippo. Before the pandemic, I think it was about 2 billion travelers around the world. The baby boomers are becoming more, they've got more disposable income. People are going to travel. It's the only way to enjoy. So, you know what? It's an open space for everybody, open door. As long as you do it right, as long as you do it with sustainability, you do it with the duty of care, you don't have nothing to worry about. And that's exactly what we do at Wyndham.
It's interesting, and I also like one of your remarks when you got asked about design trends, and people said, hey, what do you think is going to be the design trend? And your answer was an incredibly amazing answer. You said, we need to go back and address the basic needs of consumer, in particular sleep, a good night's sleep. And you guys are partnered with Russell Foster for Oxford University to study a better way of sleeping and that.
Yeah.
It's quite interesting. Everybody else focus on lifestyle, new name, funky places, and you say, hold on a second. We stick to the core of hospitality, sleep. That's what my bedroom is for. Why the directions?
Yeah, look, because the essence of hospitality hasn't changed in thousands of years, right? People need a place to sleep. Obviously, people need this place to work and a place to eat, but fundamentally, they needed a place to sleep. How many times you've actually walked into a hotel room, you just checked in, you're going up to your room, the first thing you do is jump on your bed and see, oh, you know what, this is a comfortable bed.
Yes.
And you know what, if there was a camera, I mean, you could have seen me doing this all the time. Every time I check in a room. So the fundamentals of hospitality haven't actually changed. You can put all the bells and whistles and you can add all sorts of gadgets, but the fundamentals are there. Smile, sleep, eat well, and have safe and healthy surroundings. You have all this, either you are luxury, budget, lifestyle, or no lifestyle, people are going to have a great experience. You can go to the best hotel in the world, the most expensive hotel in the world. People don't smile, they're grumpy, the service is horrible. Guess what? Did it make a difference? Did it make your holiday better? No, it didn't. So for me, it's the basics of hospitality, the core that we always have to remind ourselves that, yes, you can add the bells and whistles, but the core is still very important for people.
It's very much resonate your father high level of customer service. Is be friendly with everybody. Build any kind of relationship, which is
Yes.
is incredible. Yeah, long live this basic concept. That's to keep you going. Yes. All the time. And I wanted to also to pick on, when I was doing your introductions, I was kind of, joking about, say, don't forget Eurasia, because somebody did your introduction and you say, hey, I also look after Eurasia. And actually, this is a really seriously important area of the world. Why is that?
Yes.
What fascinates you and why your focus is also on that,
Look,
on that area?
I think, and what we call Eurasia in Wyndham is India, is Bhutan, Nepal, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh. You're talking about 1.4, 1.5 billion people, right? It's an amazing part of the world. It's an amazing culture. I had the pleasure of living in India for 2 years back in the early 90s. Yeah, it's a place where it has so many things to offer. So we believe that there's a 350 million middle class in India, growing up and growing as a middle class. The other thing about India is that it's 95% domestic. Only, I think, just before the pandemic, there were 25 million Indians traveling outbound outside of India. Can you imagine, as this middle class grows, what potential that has for tourism, what potential for growth? And I know that India and my hearts and thoughts and prayers are within my Indian colleagues and friends and owners, because they're facing a humanitarian crisis as we speak. But this will be gone. We will pass that, and we will prevail, and the future is extremely bright. So that whole area, it's an amazing place. It's an amazing place to be, not just for the business, but culturally, diversion, inclusion is just a fascinating place. That's why I believe that we haven't seen the potential of India and the Eurasia region. And the last thing on India is look at how many, and not just Indian, but the whole region, how many hospitality leaders came out of this. Look how many GMs and head of departments and people in hospitality around the world are of Indian descent or owners. I mean, Wyndham alone in North America, we have thousands of Indian origin owners with our hotels. So it is an amazing place, and I think it values the core concepts and principles of hospitality. That's why I'm so bullish about the future.
Yeah, it's remarkable. I mean, how big is your pipeline, your official pipeline in that
Look,
region, roughly?
We've got about 59 hotels already in the region, and we've got a pipeline or 12 to 15 hotels in the next 18 months. We've got a lot of trusted owners. A lot of the business comes from existing owners, and at the same time, we are one of the top international brands in the country. You know, there are some amazing brands in India, right? Like the Oberois and the Tazes and the Lemon Trees and all these guys, and they are an amazing school. They create hospitality leaders. But from an international perspective, I think we're in a very good place. Obviously, we're not complacent. We want to grow more, and that's why we've got a great team there with Nikhil heading our business there. Just make sure that and it's not just about growth. It's about introducing India to our customers, introducing India to our Wyndham Rewards members. So we're not doing it just for us. It is about the country itself, and this is important to us as well.
It's incredible. I never heard an hospitality executive saying that. It's actually introducing India to our customer, which is remarkable.
Absolutely.
It's a true collaborative approach, giving back.
Absolutely.
And also, benefiting commercially from it.
Absolutely. We need to make sure that we introduce the destinations to our customers. What's the point of just putting a flag in one destination, and just we have a duty of care to actually give back to that destination as well, because it pays salaries and it creates job opportunities for people, and this is important to us.
Fantastic. It's incredible. We're coming towards the end of our conversation. I will stay here forever. It's I'm here listening to you, and I have one question, and I want to massage your ego, but you don't have an ego because you're very humble, and this scares me. I need somebody to throw a massive number. You're so humble. But when I'm hearing, if I listen to the conversation back and we forget that we had COVID, I mean, since you took over a Wyndham, I mean, you must have grown the business massively. Only India, you said, I'm growing by double digit. Is what? Tell me about your success, Dimitri. Since you took over, how did you grow the estate?
I was very lucky. My predecessor, Dan Ruff, who is a very good friend of mine, has done and the guys before him, they've done an amazing job building the EMEA region. They've created the region. They brought resources. They moved responsibilities from North America to the region. So I found an amazing platform to work on. We had to make some really tough decisions. We lost some great talent because it was tough in the beginning. But again, you'll hear me say this all the time. It was the right attitude, and people got on board. You just go into a boardroom one day and you say, "Look, this is my vision, and I hope you are on board." And they were all on board. And one man cannot make a difference. It's always a team effort. And something that Jeff Bezos said, and I said it's to my team from day one. He said it's one of my favorite quotes. It doesn't matter how we disagree or how we debate within the boardroom. When we close the door, when we open the door again, there's only one voice. There's only one thing that we're all committed upon, and we had some amazing debates. We argue a lot. As you know, we're very strong, opinionated people at Wyndham. And great hospitality professionals, but there's only one voice, and that actually helped us a lot. We were all focused on that one voice that we kept on hearing and playing in the back of our heads, and we all committed towards one goal, and that made it possible. We didn't go in various directions, and each one of us has his own agendas. And I had my red lines from day one as a leader. You never throw your people, anybody under the bus. You don't play politics, and you don't have an agenda. Once people realized that that was who I was as a leader, it was very easy to follow. So, and I didn't do anything different apart from telling them these are my red lines, and let's go out and do this. And we had challenges, we had failures, we had things that we learned, that there's going to be more and more. And you never know, anything can happen tomorrow, but we enjoy every single day because the key principles are there. We love people and we love what we do. And that drives our behavior.
Incredible.
It's not rocket science, really.
So if I put a massive, gigantic white billboard on top of the Burj Khalifa, visible for hundreds of thousands of miles away, what message would you write on it?
Wow. That's a very difficult one. Just be yourself. You never lose if you are yourself. Be yourself, and que será será. Whatever will be will be. Be yourself, and then people will just realize and follow. If you try to fake it, it's not a good idea. Just be yourself. That's what I would say. Be yourself.
That's an incredible message. So be true, be honest. It's incredible.
Yeah, but true to yourself. Be true to yourself.
Be under pressure. I wanted to do this. I want to change my glasses now because you're an expert. Question: how many pair of glasses do you have?
Oh God, I've got 20 in various colors and shapes.
But over the years, I've seen you. I never seen.
Yes. I sell some. Some are destroyed. Some I lose. Yes. I had a proposal once. Said, "Oh, when you have a laser operation to get rid of your glasses?" And I said, "Are you crazy? This is part of who I am. It's part of who I am, and I love glasses. I think it reflects your personality as well. So I love them."
So my question is, if you were not bald, would you wear glasses? Unless you were forced to because you can't see. But you say it's part of me. No. So I'm taking it as my brand feature.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Yeah. So, you probably heard this before, but I was 26 years old. I was doing my master's degree in the University of Surrey in London. And I woke up one day and half of my hair went on my pillow. So I started losing my hair. And back in 1986, it wasn't very trendy as it is today, right? It wasn't trendy to be bald. So I got really aggressive. I'm like, I don't want to go out. I'm going to stay here forever. I'm losing my hair. So my roommate said, "Listen, man, you need professional help. Go seek some help because you cannot stay in this room forever." So I went to this psychologist and I told him all the story, 45 minutes. I downloaded all my stress and I said, "I cannot go out. I'm losing my hair." So he looked at me and he said, "Okay, I've got the answer." I said, "Oh my God, this is it. He's going to give me a pill. Everything, my hair is going to go back. I'm done. I'm happy." And he said, "No, you're going to lose all your hair. It's genetic. Go back home, save your head, and go to London." I was wearing some really boring black glasses and buy a pair of red glasses. And I'm like, "Are you a doctor? Can I see your diploma? I mean, what kind of advice is this?" He said, "Look, man, you're going to lose your hair. It's inevitable. Buy a pair of red glasses, and that's it." So I bought the funkiest, biggest pair of red glasses you've ever seen. Guess what? Everybody said, "Oh, I love those glasses." Nobody noticed I'm bald. So it changed my life. It made me a happier person. And that's why I've got all these different glasses in so many different shapes, because it's part of me. That's how I built my personality, because I fought the fact that I was bald with wearing these bright red glasses that everybody paid attention to, and not my hair.
I tell you,
I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened to that doctor, but he gave me the best advice ever.
So we have learned also that doctor, can be brand advisors, because that is incredible. Honestly speaking, I changed my glasses for that, because I've never seen somebody that go, not only change glasses, but you also pick very amazing frames, colors, shapes. It's incredible. So,
Oh,
it's
come on,
you
come
develop
on.
a talent which is second to nothing or to nobody, because you know how to build brands. So I think I understand why Wyndham employ you. You know how to build brands. So you say, let's bring it on board and do the classic effect on our company even more. That's brilliant. Dear
Oh, that was so
Dimitris,
funny.
it's been an absolute pleasure. I've enjoyed it. I'm ecstatic. As I wrote in the email, you bring joy, and I think you made my day.
No,
As simple as that.
no, man. As I said, it's you're a friend, and I felt extremely comfortable. You did a lot of background reading, so thank you very much for that. Uh, I don't know. I see some people and the things that they do, and the legacy they leave behind, and I am humbled, and I do hope that somebody somewhere, when I'm long gone, will remember a couple of things that I have done, me and my team have done, and that's about it. Because it is important. It is important to remember. It's not just about us.
Yeah.
It's about all the others as well.
Yeah, look, I very much mirror and I empathize with you, because when I was reading your stories and your interviews, and that again I used to say to my guys, if you want to make a lot of money, this is not the industry for you. But if you want to make a lot of friends, you're in the right place.
Yes.
And what is incredible, and I always say to them, when I used to ask people, why do you go to Harvard? Why do you go to Oxford? Why do you go to Cambridge? And they say, for an amazing network. It is obviously an education has to be supreme, because the people that score this university, they always rank number one, number two, so the top. But they say it's the network. So I say, come to hospitality. You travel the world, you meet a lot of people, amazing experiences. And you know what?
True.
Yes, we might sacrifice our own family, but on the flip coin, how many stories did you tell your daughters?
Yes.
Huge.
True. They're fed up by now.
But they will remember, they will pass it on to their children. I said, these are stories that if you go work in a bank, same place, you make millions of dollars, but you have nothing to tell. Your children will be bored. You're also bored because you tell them too much, right? So, yes, we learn, but they're also amazing. It's fantastic.
Yes, we're blessed. We're blessed. Fantastic. We're blessed to be given the opportunity to work in hospitality. We should never forget that. Awesome. Ever.
I always say that and during the pandemic, I look at the hospitality industry like the Navy SEALs. They would rather die, but they never quit.
Yes. Yeah.
They never quit.
Yes, we never quit. We're never going to give up. And remember, that Oxford guy or that Nobel Prize winner, he will still need to go somewhere to have a rest.
Oh, yes.
And this is what we're here for.
A good night's sleep, right?
a good night's sleep. Absolutely.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Dimitri. Always amazing.